Welcome to Famavora. Some television shows are more than entertainment. They become a kind of shelter. Full House was exactly that. A San Francisco home where grief quietly learned to coexist with joy and where a shattered family slowly rebuilt itself into something unbreakable. But the stories that followed the final credits were never written in advance. In 2026, many of its cherished faces are still here, older, quieter, living lives removed from that familiar blue Victorian. Others have since departed, leaving only the echo of what they gave us. Tonight, we honor every one of them. Jesse Katsopoulos entered the Tanner house like a music video, leather jacket, sculpted hair, and an Elvis obsession that made everything cooler. John Stamos, born August 19, 1963, was 24 when he stepped into the role in 1987. What made the performance endure was transformation. Jesse could have coasted as a charming bachelor, but Stamos gave him depth, loyalty, vulnerability, and tenderness that gradually overtook the bravado. His bond with the girls, especially Michelle, became a quiet, emotional anchor. Marriage to Becky and the arrival of twins pushed Jesse into genuine adulthood without losing the humor. Off-screen, Stamos built a career spanning television, comedy, drama, and music. In 2026, John Stamos is 63. Rewatching Jesse today, the jokes remain, but so does the deeper current, that people can evolve, soften, and still keep their fire. Jesse Katsopoulos entered the Tanner house like a music video, leather jacket, sculpted hair, and an Elvis obsession that made everything cooler. John Stamos, born August 19, 1963, was 24 when he stepped into the role in 1987. What made the performance endure was transformation. Jesse could have coasted as a charming bachelor, but Stamos gave him depth, loyalty, vulnerability, and tenderness that gradually overtook the bravado. His bond with the girls, especially Michelle, became a quiet, emotional anchor. Marriage to Becky and the arrival of twins pushed Jesse into genuine adulthood without losing the humor. Off-screen, Stamos built a career spanning television, comedy, drama, and music. In 2026, John Stamos is 63. Rewatching Jesse today, the jokes remain, but so does the deeper current, that people can evolve, soften, and still keep their fire. Joey Gladstone carried laughter into grief and never made it feel cheap. Cartoon voices, physical comedy, and warmth so genuine it disarmed even the hardest moments. Dave Coulier, born September 21, 1959, was 28 when he took on Joey in 1987. What separated his performance from pure clowning was the devotion underneath. Joey didn't visit the Tanner house. He moved in and committed to helping raise 3 girls, as though love were both a privilege and a duty. His humor prevented the room from collapsing under the weight of loss. Coulier's timing made children laugh, but his sincerity earned the trust of every adult watching. Off-screen, he continued a career across comedy, television, and voice acting. In 2026, Dave Coulier is 67. Revisiting Joey now feels like rediscovering laughter that never punches down. It only lifts. DJ Tanner was the axis the Tanner household rotated around, responsible, caring, and quietly forced into maturity after losing her mother. Candace Cameron Bure, born April 6, 1976, was only 11 when she began the role in 1987. Her performance resonated because she made DJ feel genuinely real, an older sister carrying equal parts comfort and pressure. DJ wasn't flawless. She had crushes, made mistakes, and struggled, yet kept reaching for strength even when it cost her. Bure played her without demanding applause, letting audiences feel both the sweetness and the silent strain of being the child a household needed to behave like an adult. She remained active in television and family-focused work in later years. In 2026, Candace Cameron Bure is 50, and DJ stands as a portrait of quiet resilience. Stephanie Tanner was the spark the Tanner house couldn't contain. Bold, funny, and secretly the sharpest emotional reader in every room. Jodie Sweetin, born January 19, 1982, was just 5 when she first played Stephanie in 1987. "How rude" became a cultural catchphrase, but beneath the comedy was a child learning to carry grief and navigate the pressure of being the middle one. Sweetin gave Stephanie real texture, confidence that sometimes cracked, bravado that sometimes masked hurt, with tender moments that turned sitcom scenes into something quietly personal. Off-screen, her life included public struggles and a hard-fought recovery that changed how many fans revisit her work. In 2026, Jodie Sweetin is 44, and Stephanie endures as proof that the funniest kid in the room is often using laughter as a lifeline. Becky Katsopoulos was the steadying force the Tanner home didn't know it needed. Intelligent, composed, and assured enough to match Jesse's energy without being diminished by it. Lori Loughlin, born July 28, 1964, was 24 when she joined the series in 1988. Becky wasn't a decorative love interest. She became a partner, anchor, wife, mother, and calm adult voice in a house full of lovable chaos. Loughlin played her with warmth and quiet competence, making the romance with Jesse feel like real growth. Off-screen, her public image grew complicated in later years, changing how some viewers returned to her work. Yet the performance itself remains what it always was. In 2026, Lori Loughlin is 62, and Becky endures as proof that the best sitcom love stories feel like real adults choosing each other, again and again. Kimmy Gibbler arrived at the Tanner door like a one-person weather event. Loud outfits, louder opinions, and a personality that refused to be contained. Andrea Barber, born July 3, 1976, was 11 when she began playing Kimmy in 1987. Her performance mattered because Kimmy could easily have been just a running joke. Barber made her loyal instead. Beneath the eccentricity lived a best friend who always showed up, even when the family mocked her, even when she didn't fit. She served an essential purpose, making DJ's adolescence feel real, because teenagers grow in friendships that are loud, messy, and stubbornly unconditional. Barber later returned through franchise work and fan events. In 2026, Andrea Barber is 50, and Kimmy endures as proof that being too much can still be entirely lovable when your heart is pointed in the right direction. Steve Hale embodied the sweet awkwardness of first love. DJ's high school boyfriend who brought young romance into the Tanner house without tipping it into drama. Scott Weinger, born October 5, 1975, was 15 when he first appeared as Steve in 1991. What made his performance land was sincerity. Steve was goofy, perpetually hungry, and occasionally clueless, yet always genuine. He gave DJ a storyline beyond the living room, the trembling joy of being chosen and the quiet heartbreak of growing apart. Weinger played him like a real teenager, trying hard, stumbling, recovering with a smile. Off-screen, he built a dual identity as a familiar actor and beloved Disney voice for millions. In 2026, Scott Weinger is 51, and Steve remains proof that honest, imperfect young love is the kind you carry long after the credits roll. Teddy brought kinetic kid energy into the Tanner universe. Mischief delivered with a grin, the kind of small chaos that transformed quiet moments into new problems. Taj Mowry, born May 17, 1986, was 5 when he played Teddy in the early 90s. His presence mattered because it expanded the show's sense of community. Sitcoms deepen when the neighborhood feels alive, and Teddy delivered that. A kid who bounded through the Tanner world with enough personality to feel like Michelle's natural counterpart. Mowry's instinctive ease made Teddy completely believable. playful, fearless, and carrying a little too much confidence for his own good. Off-screen, he built a durable career across television and voice work. In 2026, Taj Mowry is 40, and Teddy endures as a warm reminder that Full House's world extended well beyond the Tanner family's front door. Viper arrived carrying the unmistakable cool of mid-90s adolescence. Street-smart, unhurried, and built to introduce a touch of edge into the Tanner house's warm-hearted world. David Lipper, born February 17, 1974, was 20 when he played Viper in 1994. As the original girls aged, Full House needed a richer teenage landscape, outside friendships and a faintly rebellious undercurrent of real adolescence. Viper delivered without tipping the series into cynicism. He wasn't a threat to the show's moral center. He was a texture, someone who made teenage scenes feel current while respecting the gentle compass that defined the series. Off-screen, Lipper built a career both in front of and behind the camera. In 2026, David Lipper is 52, and Viper endures as a snapshot of Full House's later evolution, the moment a little edge entered the room without extinguishing the warmth. Vicki Larson brought a different kind of romance into Full House, one built on the quieter reality of two adults learning what commitment genuinely requires. Gail Edwards, born September 27, 1952, was 39 when she played Vicki in 1991. Her performance mattered because it grounded Danny's storyline in real maturity. Vicki wasn't dazzled by charm or surface confidence. She had her own standards and quiet strength that challenged Danny to grow more deliberately. Edwards played her with steadiness and warmth, crafting a love interest who existed to test a character rather than decorate a scene. When the relationship didn't resolve neatly, it felt strangely honest, proof that love can be genuine and still not write the final chapter. In 2026, Gail Edwards is 74, and Vicki endures as evidence that Full House could speak adulthood's quieter truths about love and timing. Nikki Katsopoulos helped rewrite the Tanner house's story by introducing a new generation. Small laughter, twin chaos, and the sense that love in this family never stopped expanding. Blake Tuomi Wilhoit, born November 29, 1990, was 2 years old when he began playing Nikki in 1992. The twins transformed Jesse and Becky from romantic figures into full-time parents, shifting the household's rhythm and bringing storylines about patience, responsibility, and the comedy of adults realizing life no longer revolves around them. Real toddlers changed the temperature of scenes, making the home feel inhabited rather than staged. Off-screen, Blake stepped away from acting entirely, building a private adult life. In 2026, Blake Tuomi Wilhoit is 36, and Nikki endures as gentle nostalgia, proof that in the Tanner house, love didn't just survive. It kept multiplying. Denise Frazier carried fresh energy and a wider sense of the world into Michelle's orbit. Confident, spirited, and convincing as the kind of playground friend who reshapes how you see yourself. Jurnee Smollett, born October 1, 1986, was 6 years old when she appeared as Denise in 1992. Her role mattered because it broadened the show's community in a sitcom where home means everything, and friendship is part of what makes home whole. Smollett's early screen presence was unmistakable, sharp focus, confident timing, and a natural ease that quietly announced the performer she would become. Off-screen, her career grew into dramatic work of genuine depth and reputation. In 2026, Jurnee Smollett is 40, and Denise endures as proof that even brief roles leave lasting impressions, because small on-screen friendships sometimes become part of how we remember our own childhoods. Irene Katsopoulos carried family history into the room the moment she appeared, the mother who illuminated Jesse without a single flashback, needling him with the precision only a parent who knows you entirely can manage. Yvonne Wilder, born September 21, 1937, was 51 when she played Irene in 1988. Her performance deepened the show's chosen family theme by reminding us that the characters had real roots before that living room ever existed. Irene's visits were brief, but they left warmth and texture, quiet proof that Jessie's bravado had always been shaped by love and upbringing. Wilder played her with lively charm, never overstaying her welcome. She built a long career across television and film, and passed away in 2021 at 84. Revisiting her now reveals the show's hidden architecture, the guest stars who made its world feel genuinely inhabited. Mr. Strobridge was the show's essential outside force, strict, no nonsense, and precisely calibrated to remind the Tanner kids that the world beyond their warm front door played by different rules. Richard Paul, born June 6, 1940, was 48 when he played the principal in 1988. His performance anchored the sitcom in a believable world. Full House worked best when family warmth met real consequence. School rules, discipline, and the humbling lesson of behaving when no loving speech waits at the end. Paul played Strobridge with firm authority and just enough quiet humanity to keep him from becoming caricature. His presence reminded audiences that growing up unfolds in hallways and classrooms, not only in living rooms. Richard Paul passed away in 1998 at 58. His role endures as proof that growing up requires more than love. It requires boundaries, too. In 2026, some of these cherished faces are still with us. Older now, shaped by decades lived far beyond that San Francisco street. Others have departed, yet they are never truly gone, because their laughter survives in every rerun, burning steadily like a porch light left on for someone who hasn't arrived home yet. If this tribute stirred something in you tonight, please like, subscribe, and share the moment from the show that still lives in your chest. From Famavora, good night.